What's up and welcome back, it's your Dude here. Maraming malaking pagbabago ang darating sa newest operating system na Windows 11. Ngayon pag-uusapan natin kung ano so far ang mga malalaking changes sa soon to be released na Windows 11 that got recently leaked. Is it time to say goodbye sa mga potato PC? Bakit kaya? Pero bago natin pag-usapan yan, our sponsor for this video is cdkoffers.com, where you could buy affordably cheap license keys such as the Microsoft Office 2016 that recently dropped its price down to $34. Not only could you buy Microsoft Office keys, but also you can get way cheaper legit Windows license keys. Simply look for whichever license is suitable for your Windows installation. After choosing which Windows license you'll be needing, simply click on the Buy Now button. Then enter Dude20 to save up 20% on your purchase. You'll be taken to the payment gateways afterwards, and once done paying, you'll immediately receive the key and be able to activate it on your Windows. Kung gusto mo makita ang full in-depth review ko with regards to CDK offers, simply click the link somewhere here or there. Kagabi I decided to try out Windows 11 sa laptop ko, and nasabi ko kanina na napakaraming pagbabago ang darating sa Windows 11 simula sa user interface, new supporting features, pagdating sa mga apps, improved gaming experience at much higher minimum hardware specifications. So goodbye potato PC na talaga, kasi sa Windows 11 mas tumas na ang minimum hardware specifications na isa-support ng OS na to. I-compare natin ang Windows 10 at ang new system requirements ng Windows 11. First of all, Windows 11 will no longer support 32-bit processors, kaya only x64 or 64-bit based processors na lang ang supported ng Windows 11. Previously, Windows 10 works both on x86 or x64 architecture processors, pero pagdating sa Windows 11, only x64 or 64-bit based processors na lang will be the only processor that will be compatible unless you're using a SoC processor or a system on a chip. So, para sa mga potato PC o lumang PC that runs on x86 based processors, you might not be able to run Windows 11. So far, based on the release system specifications, and actually I tested this before ko in-install ang Windows 11 sa laptop ko using a virtual machine for testing purposes. And indeed, you won't be able to proceed with the installation of Windows 11 on a single core machine. Another potato PC killer is the minimum memory specifications from Windows 10's minimum requirement na 1GB of memory for 32-bit and 2GB of memory for the 64-bit Windows 10 machines. For Windows 11, tumaas ito, and the minimum memory specs is now 4GB of memory. So if you're planning to buy or install Windows 11 on a PC na mayroong less than 4GB na RAM, think twice because you'd better upgrade your system first, kasi hindi mo ma-install ang Windows 11 sa machine na to. Ano naman ang nagbago sa user interface o design ng Windows 11? Isa sa mga pinakamalalaking pagbabago sa Windows 11 ay ang kanyang transition from flat icons, colors, and theme papunta sa glossy and curvy glassy feel na concept. Maganda siya, pero personally I prefer the simplistic flat design ng Windows 10 over sa overly glassy feel ng Windows 11. Well, that's for my own opinion. On top sa glassy design theme na pagbabago sa Windows 11, isa pa sa mga major changes ng user interface ay ang start menu and taskbar icons na nakalagay na sa gitna by default. Again, I'm still 50-50 kung magugustuhan ko ba talaga yung bagong centered icon sa taskbar, but most probably I'll stick with the left icons para sa start menu and icons. Luckily, you have the option para ibalik sa left position ang lahat ng icons and start menu button by going to the taskbar settings, then change the taskbar alignment from center to left. Ang start menu kapag nasa gitna also has a brand new look and feel to it. However, kung nakapag-try na kayo ng Ubuntu, it kinds of remind me of the user interface ng Ubuntu, kasi I can see some little similarities. Konting-konti lang naman, and still nare-retain pa rin ng Windows yung familiar look ng start menu ng Windows. Something that I often use is the group live tile icons sa Windows 10. I don't know kung ginagamit nyo rin to, but Windows 10 supports grouping ng icons sa start menu. So for example, I have all my Adobe apps grouped into one. Para kung kailangan ko silang buksan, I can simply click on it and it will expand. I find it useful, pero minsan it includes a little bit of bugs over time. Unfortunately, if you use this feature sa Windows 11, hindi na ito gagana. The start menu no longer supports grouping or creating folders of icons, so you're just left with the option with the individual app icons. Kapag nag-upgrade ka ng Windows 10 to Windows 11, take note that mawawala lahat ng mga live tile icons and group folder icons mo, since this feature won't be supported sa Windows 11. Windows 11 will also begin supporting Android apps na supposedly you'll be able to get through the Microsoft Store. I'm using the leaked version of Windows 11 but as of now, hindi ko pa makita yung options to download Android apps. However, Microsoft partnered with Amazon Play Store so hindi lahat ng nasa Google Play Store na apps will also be available sa Windows 11 since limited lang ang apps na available sa Amazon Play Store. So kung ano lang yung available sa Amazon Play Store will also be the only apps that will be available on the Microsoft Store kung saan kayo magda-download ng mga Android apps nyo sa Windows 11. Hopefully, some changes are made more to fully and natively support Android apps na even installing APK files would be supported tulad ng mga Android emulator tulad ng BlueStacks. May mga various navigational changes rin sa task view feature ng Windows 11. Yung multiple desktops is more highlighted and given space on the screen para mabigyan ng emphasis itong multiple desktops feature na to. Also, some noticeable visual difference is the curvy edges that again follows the new theme of Windows 11 compared sa flat theme ng Windows 10. Another interesting feature is that maaari mo na rin palitan ang mga wallpapers on each individual different desktops para hindi nakakalito at mas mabilis ma-distinguish ang isang desktop from another desktop. Isang pinaka nakakainis na feature, well, para sa akin ay ang Cortana feature. Bukod sa hindi ko siya ginagamit, it contains a lot of bugs and issues na karaniwang nagkakos ng problems and difficulties sa paggamit ng search functionalities ng Windows, especially sa Windows 10. Actually, I even made a tutorial video offering some solutions to fix Cortana previously. Luckily, sa Windows 11, unlike Windows 10, hindi na automatically by default magiging integrated ang Cortana ng Windows 11. Even sa boot up experience ng Windows 11 based on the official release, it will no longer be included in the first boot experience nor be pinned sa taskbar. Hopefully, this would resolve the number of issues encountered pagdating sa paggamit ng search functionality previously na experience sa Windows 10. Also, hindi ka na sa mapilitang papagamitin ng Cortana o i-integrate ang Cortana sa PC mo o laptop mo, kaya you have more freedom and control whether you'd prefer to use or not Cortana along with your search and navigation needs. For the gaming, isa sa mga pinakabagong updates ng Windows 11 ay ang tinatawag na Auto HDR. Basically, games and graphics cards and monitors that supports HDR will be automatically offered in HDR mode. Windows 11 also supports Microsoft DirectX 12 Ultimate, but again, it also depends kung ang graphics card mo supports DirectX 12 Ultimate. For the benchmarks and performance, I still have to conduct further tests, research since kahapon ko lang in-install to, and I'm still looking at the earlier or leaked builds ng Windows 11. So, maaaring mas marami pang changes na mangyari on the official release ng Windows 11. Pagdating sa multiple displays, another useful feature na bago sa Windows 11 is the ability to remember Windows locations based on monitor connection. Ibig sabihin nito, if you're using multiple monitors, let's say tinanggal mo o natanggal o na-disconnect ang isang monitor na mayroong currently open windows, those windows are going to be remembered by Windows 11. If you right-click your desktop and go to the display settings, you can see under the multiple displays option the remember window locations based on monitor connection at minimize windows when a monitor is disconnected. This is very useful lalong-lalo na if you're using multiple desktops kasi it is quite annoying to be putting back yung mga windows and apps na previously nakalagay o nakadisplay sa isang monitor pero suddenly na-disconnect yung isang monitor. All of those previously opened windows will go back sa primary monitor mo. At once na na-restore mo na yung connection sa monitor, you'll have to manually transfer them back one at a time. Well, you don't have to do that one anymore manually on Windows 11. Another thing that changed na muntik ko na makalimutan ay ang mga sounds sa Windows 11. Basically, newer and more subtle notification sounds, pop-up sounds, confirmation, and other sound effects were also changed in Windows 11. Personally, I'm not a fan of the glossy and shiny feel ng Windows 11. It kind of reminds me the looks ng Windows Vista at Windows 7, may halong Ubuntu-ish style. But since this version of Windows seems to quite offer a number of good and interesting features tulad ng Android app support, changes on the start menu functionalities, Auto HDR feature for gaming, smarter way of handling Windows open sa multi-monitor setup, and non-intrusive way of forcing users to use Cortana hopefully will make the experience better for the users. However, since since bago lang tong release na to, expect to experience some hiccups, bugs, and issues along the way, especially if you're going to upgrade your main desktop or laptop to this new operating system upon release. Let me know what you think, kung alin sa lahat ng mga changes ang pinaka nagustuhan nyo o hindi nyo nagustuhan sa Windows 11. So hopefully marami kang natutunan sa video na to. Feel free to leave your comments and feedbacks sa comment section down below. Also, I would appreciate it if you could hit that like and subscribe button to get more helpful tech stuff in the future. It's your Tech Dude here. See you in my next videos.